pleased with myself. Hello, Ackah-Blay. How you doing?
Hi, Kojo. I'm doing well.
I see you are busy engaging in some serious social media engagement.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure this Snapchat thing out. I'm still trying to figure it out small.
Oh, you are new to Snapchat.
Yeah.
I don't know. It never.
You're familiar
became...
with it?
Well, yeah, but it's not one that I use a lot. I think I'm more. I'm more on Instagram and Facebook.
Instagram, I know the seat of crap.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's quite straightforward.
Quite recently that I actually discovered that you can message people. So someone pointed me to the inbox, and I realized that there were messages that I had not seen it at all.
Well, people have been.
Do you have Snapchat?
No, I don't.
No. I mean, I'm sorry, but the person who was around when communication was done by tablet, writing on tablets. I don't think you can really expect him to be on.
Let's get into our Drive Safe campaign now. It's brought to us by Joy News and the Multimedia Group, and supported by Toyota Superior Quality and Imperial General Assurance. Solid protection. So avoid all distractions. Keep both eyes on the road and hands on the steering wheel. Be visible. Drive with your lights on at night, and that's how you drive safe. And look, because this morning we're talking about driving safe, please let's be careful on our roads. And we've been having this conversation. Sometimes you ask yourself, where are you in a hurry to? If you want to, if you have a deadline, please leave home early. Don't try speeding just because you have to meet somebody. And for those who, you want to make a point?
I was just going to say, just try and understand when you're overtaking a car, you are taking your life into your hands. Yeah. So don't make that decision lightly. Please be careful. All right. Shall we learn how to say it right?
Sure.
It's brought to us by Kingdom Books. At Kingdom, quality and affordability are their hallmarks, as well as SG Bank Ghana. The future is you.
Something must be done.
You say either, I say either.
I hope you had a good weekend. Mine was not great. I've been trying to bring down my high blood pressure. My friends at Food Pharmacy made me some rather delicious gumbo to help bring it down. Gumbo is a thick vegetable soup popular in the American city of New Orleans. And it really was delicious. I couldn't stop licking the ladle. Which brings us to our say it right word for the day, ladle. And it's ladle with one D, not ladle with two Ds. Ladle, ladle. Most dictionaries define a ladle as a large, long-handled spoon used for drawing and stirring liquids, or in my case, for licking gumbo. Ladle is also a verb which refers to the act of drawing and pouring liquids with a ladle. The word originates from an Old English verb, chladen, which means to load or draw water. Chladen. Hard to say that word without generating a ladle full of saliva. Sorry, I know that's a bit gross. Think about that next time you're licking your ladle.
Let's rock and roll,
All right, there you go. Now, before the news review, which is brought to us this morning by First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different, let's do our usual wrap of a news file. Very interesting conversation about the implications of our IMF bailout. And, of course, we were interested in what would happen to employment in the public sector. We heard from Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam. And then, of course, John Jinapor, Member of Parliament for Yape-Gusau, also had something to say about it. He said there will be limited employment. And then we heard from Dr. Priscilla Chumesi-Bafo, who actually suggests that government shouldn't just completely freeze it, but should employ in key areas of the economy. Right? Let's hear them all.
Look at the document and all the negotiations we have done. There is nowhere there is a statement that there is a freeze in employment. We are not going to do that. But this is not also different from what we have been doing. For the past 2 years, recruitment in the government side have focused on the security agencies and the teachers and then also nurses, etc., etc. And these are critical institutions. And the job they do also very critical to our development efforts. And you know that the recruitments are backed by financial clearance. That is when government is able to finance their wages.
For me, is the most authentic document for me. If you go to page 230, Appendix 7, 2023, 804,000 is there. It is in the budget. It's not a political statement. And the budget is debated and adopted. This is what both sides of the House, the entire House, adopted. 804,000 total staff strength. I don't know where this 2 million is coming from. 2 million of what? Is it gross figures? Is it current employment? Is it what? The current total staff strength, the ceiling, that's the 2023 ceiling. Government says that even if it employs so much, it has to end at 804,000. So look, let's not create this impression as if this IMF program is going to lessen so much of a burden. Rather, we have to take some tough, difficult decisions for the next 3 years.
But the reality is that, yes, I mean, IMF programs have always come with a lot of negative impact on the ordinary Ghanaian, the ordinary worker and all that. And for me, my position is that that is what we need to learn, important lessons, so that periodically we do not find ourselves back here, because you find that the cycle is always about 4 years maximum. We are back looking for a deal. We need to find sustainable solutions to this, so that we do not over time keep inflicting such difficult economic circumstances on the citizens.
I mean,
yeah, so that's how it all went down on Newsfile.
Now, I mean, I was listening to Dr. Priscilla Chumisi-Bafo, and she also made the point, that labor, because, in the government is advised to limit wage increases, for instance. And she makes the point that, because of inflation, you're losing about half of your salary going forward, as labor, they'll be concerned that you're not going to get anything. And for me, that's very important also. Now, the bit about, employment freeze. Well, you're supposed to limit your wage increases and even recruitment, for instance. So why not? You could probably employ in key sectors when people are retiring. But the general principle would be that our wage bill is very high. And so find ways of reducing your wage bill.
I mean, I think for me, I walked away from the Newsfile discussion with the conclusion that, things will be very tough going forward.
Yes.
Because we are going to try to shore up domestic revenue. We are not going to increase wages as we expected to do. If necessary, we are going to bring new models, tax models, if necessary, if the ones that we have are not performing. Then we know that utility tariffs are going to go up at least throughout the year. In fact, we are being urged to even do an additional one if it's even possible. And so for the ordinary Ghanaian, it appears it will just be a situation where even though things are tough now, things will actually get tougher before they get better at some point in time later on.
No, you're right. I mean, you're right. And that's the reality of an IMF program. When we were all over the place talking about how we're going, once the IMF, program starts, we're going to be better. No. In fact, it's going to get tough, very tough. And then, after a year or two, you probably will see signs of improvement. But things will get difficult.
Do you find that government finds it a bit difficult to communicate to the public that things are going to get tough? Because you heard the Minister of State saying that, there's not going to be any wage freeze. Like, I don't even know what the benefit is of telling Ghanaians that there will be no wage freeze.
Yeah, but when you read the IMF documents, the IMF says that the authorities have agreed to limit the wage increases and recruitment.
So why would you say anything other than that? I don't understand what they think will happen if they give the people of Ghana bad news, like the truth, that look, things are going to get, this is how hard things are going to get. What do they think will happen if they do that?
Well, let's get into the daily guide for this morning. I beg your pardon. Akufo-Addo says, I'll hand over power to NPP. He says that the work has been done already. The NPP is doing very well. And so, even though they've gone to the IMF, they went to the IMF because of international shocks and not the NDC's mismanagement in 2015. 6 killed in gory accident. So the 3 who died in the Bono region, and Kofi Jan and his 2 nieces. You can see his vehicle in the stream here. Ghana Health Service lifts COVID-19 restrictions. Prestia Sankofa Gold is back. And also on the front page, Darkness engulfs Accra. Talks about the non-functioning of street lights. And so in the night, you realize that a lot of places in the capital are very, very dark. Back page, Kurt Kreku promises big trophies soon. And Cape Coast set for GNPC fastest human.
The front page of the Finder now, it says Kumewu by-election is a test case for NPP's 2024 victory. And a flower border, GIS officers attacked, injured during night patrol. And Dr. Akoto promises not to let NPP and Ghana down. Public debt drops by 141.1 billion cedis from 575.7. It's from the Bank of Ghana governor. I'll quickly do the front page of the new crusading guide. Government targets food security with a 5-year plan. Rice production, let's adopt the Nigerian experience. Jospon. Pram kingmakers ready to furnish RISEC with documents to nail impersonators. And there's this story about goons vandalizing airport property gone. Lands Commission accused. Unfortunately, I don't have any sports story in any of the papers. Man City won the league over.
Yes, Man City won because Arsenal again did their thing, isn't it?
Yeah, as usual.
Yeah, Arsenal. Find out. I mean, when you think about Arsenal, you just can't understand them.
Yeah, allow.
Go and beat Nottingham Forest.
Yeah. City didn't have to play to win the league. They were just in their homes watching the match, and they had won.
And they won the league because Arsenal couldn't beat Nottingham Forest. I mean, why? Relegation 13 team.
Can you imagine?
Oh, Arsenal. Anyway, it's a mentality. You see, when the players needed to be strong at the most important moment, they gave up.
Yeah.
They gave up.
I think that there are a lot of life lessons in it.
Yeah, well, yes.
Sometimes some people run too fast. Like when it matters most, when you need the gas.
It's
like
not how you start, it's how you finish.
Exactly.
So for Arsenal, but they just had to take an injury to one player. One player that really affected Arsenal, Saliba.
That means
all of a sudden, once Saliba got injured, Partey became exposed. Because then he had to cover a lot of space. Saliba was doing a lot of great job for him. So in front of Saliba, Partey could actually, move back and forth, do a lot of things. Because Saliba was playing high up the pitch. So the space Partey had to cover wasn't much.
Yeah.
Once he got injured,
it means that he had a lot of spaces to cover
his
himself.
Replacement couldn't do that. Partey had a lot of space to cover. And that was it. Partey lost form, and Arsenal started losing.
He played that right back against Nottingham Forest.
Let's get to the business and financial times. We'll talk more about this later on. But if you're an Arsenal fan, I'd love to hear from you. Don't remind me that I support Man United. I know.
Why should you be reminded?
I know, Pa.
In fact, let me ask you this. Now that Pep and City have won, does this not suggest that perhaps Sir Alec is no longer the greatest manager?
Oh, if you want to know who the greatest manager is, go and look for game plan. On Friday, the Spurs team did justice to it. And Cicho flawed, Daniel Cranton.
But to be fair, I think the debate is a bit problematic. One, because of how long Ferguson was around.
Yeah.
So even the fact that Pep qualifies to have that conversation, it means that he's actually been exceptionally good.
No, Pep has been very good. No, but you see, the conversation about Sir Alex, for instance. Now, Cicho made a point, which I agree. In fact, it was one of the points I was going to make, which I agree. See, when Ferguson got into Man United in 1986,
you just say that Fred Smith,
it was a team
that
has come stand in the studio.
No, it was a team that was
the rest
lost.
of the conversation.
Listen, it was a team that was lost. United had been relegated. They're back. They're not doing anything. They're not winning. He picks that team, develops a good playing culture. For the first 5 years, He didn't win anything. In fact, first 4 years he didn't win anything until 1990. In fact, there are others who suggest that, but for his triumph in the FA Cup of 1990, he would have been fired.
Which is the difference today? I mean, if it's modern football, he can't do that 5 years. He would have been sacked long ago.
Of course, but that's
what
there's
was
a cycle
Pep's
too.
record in his first 5 years?
Oh no, but you should.
Alex learned on the job.
No, but
exactly.
no, Sir Alex had actually
amazing.
Exactly.
won
So it's
the
a
Cup
bit.
Winners'
I
Cup. He
think,
had won the Cup Winners' Cup in Scotland.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That it's
Anyway,
a bit complicated.
we have to go online.
Yes.
The online review is brought to us by. We will come back to this conversation. Trust me. We have to talk about the Premiership. The online review is brought to us by Zenith Bank in your best interest and Goyle Good Energy.
And Goyle, your oil marketing company of choice, keeps making life so convenient for you. Goyle now accepts Momo for all fuel purchases. Just remember to Momo it at Goyle, and that's not all. You can also use your bank card, that's all bank cards, to buy fuel at Goyle. Drive to the nearest Goyle station and buy your fuel. Pay by Momo, bank card, or Goyle Go card. Visit our social media platforms, Facebook Goyle.official, Instagram Goyle_GH, and on Twitter Goyle_official for more information on the service stations. You can conveniently use Momo. Goyle Good Energy, Goyle. Yeah, dear.
Are you looking for a bank that understands you and puts your financial needs first? Well, don't look any further than Zenith Bank, your bank of choice. By the way, good morning to Chidi and the team at Zenith Bank. They've got products tailor-made for you. Well, whether you're young, old, an entrepreneur, a student, a salaried worker, a corporate entity, an SME, a pensioner, a parent, a Ghanaian resident abroad, or a foreign resident in Ghana, Zenith Bank has everybody covered. Everyone can bank with them. Join the Zenith family today for an unrivaled banking experience. Call them on 0302 680 884, or you could try 0307 086 370, or email them. It's info@zenithbank.com.gh. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. All right, then. Kumewu by-election, EC dismisses notice of poll circulating on social media. You can read about that on myjoyonline.com. Right now, though, it's time for the BBC News, brought to you by Fidelity.